Day 2 and the Ashes is over. Can you believe it? Welcome back to The Great Cricketer, brought to you by ASKTGC, India's leading digital insurance company. My name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry is he. Hello, he.
Hello, we.
Nice. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Unison.
Yeah.
Mate, that's a great day of days cricket. A great day of days cricket for Australia. The Ashes is over. The urn returns, except it stays in Lords. We don't get to actually have it, but it's more of an idea in our heads.
Well, it was a gift. It was a gift, you see. It's not yours. It's
a gift.
ours.
That was a gift.
Yes.
Fucking give it back, Chris
Give
Kringle.
it back.
Chris Kringle coats. Australia finished the day 7 for 343, and that's the way you say it as well. We're the only country that does it that way, but that's the important thing. Lead of 196, 196 fucking too many. Put it to me in grade terms.
Oh, cash in after tea.
That is
Wasn't
fucking...
it? It was just a fucking... Look... I thought it was a really good day's play of cricket. There'll be some praise for England from me, and it would be balanced correctly. It will be overbalanced.
Yeah.
But
that's something to Gary balanced.
It was an extended day's play. But ultimately, when you get the nearly 10 wickets, 300 runs, it's usually pretty good day's play. But it was just a little bit less for England and a little bit more for Australia.
Yeah.
And the gluttony kicked in as the light started dimming, as the shadows lengthened, as Travis Head's moustache started thickened and started casting an alpha shadow over the England side with Jim Maxwell described it as a sparkling 100. At about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, with the game having started at 10:30, you did not realise that Travis Head was going to be the match winner of the day. But
I thought it was Usman.
And listening to him Chappell, I'm not sure he still will be in the team afterwards. But
great 100. I'm not convinced
today.
Yet. Yeah.
You know, that is the great gift of Australian cricket.
Fucking
is that they start doing quite well, which allows us to get greedy about people.
That's
so,
right.
I'm thinking, like Moses, Cameron Green's got some stuff to sort out. But yes, he goes... very happy for Travis Head.
Yeah.
All set up by Marnus, Labu Skakni, and David Warner. How about we get into the three things?
Give me the three things,
All right,
baby.
the first one I've got here is Warner and Marnus set it up. So Harris, been, gone. Nick off.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's in next? Who plays next test match?
The next thing. Hey, the first hour was a sensational arm wrestle. It was sensational test cricket. Wokes probably missed his lengths a little bit, but the two great bowlers for England today were Mark Wood and Ollie Robinson, both of whom were excellent bowling to David Warner and Marnus. On Robinson's side of things, he ends up with 3 for, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Ollie Robinson has a good
3
day.
for and cramp.
3 for and cramp. Will we see him Adelaide? Who knows? But hitting wonderful areas straight away.
Sure.
And Mark Wood, angles, pace, too quick for Warner on many, many occasions. But those two guys, Warner and Labuschagne, they really showed how to bat in Australia, especially Labuschagne with leaving. But both of them, in terms of getting off strike, never allowed themselves to get pinned down, built the innings, rode their luck a little bit short. There's some drop catches there, edges that fall short. I'm not saying that's luck. And then there's a Stokes thing that happens, and then all of a sudden, they explode. That's when Leach comes on.
For me, innings of the day is Marnus's. I don't think Travis does what he does in the last session unless Marnus just leaves the ball for fucking
unless
days.
His dad drives him to training.
Exactly.
It goes all the way back.
And if he does well, he gets to sit in the front seat and gets Maccas. It's a whole dance.
You don't want to meet his sister. I do not know if Travis Head has any siblings, just to be clear.
Not sure if Warner is as lucky as like it's been suggested. Like I'm not sure. If someone drops you like Rory Burns did, I guess it is lucky that someone, but it's just that's just bad play on the other team's part.
But
it's also luck.
It's luck in the sense that Marnus Labuschagne didn't put a foot wrong all innings
and then get a
half tracker and he just pops it up. You know.
Yeah, that'll. I feel like
I'm not saying it's bad luck. That's bad design from Marnus, but like the first mistake Marnus makes, he's out. Warner's made a fair few, and he remained.
It was a comical 3 for 94. His innings, but it's concerning now that Australia's got a lot of batters into the series as well. They spent a lot of time in the middle, and the Warner is such a key part of like Australia's top order. That's obviously to say the guy's got 25 test hundreds or whatever the fuck, but like
his record's better than Greg Chappell's now. Did you see that? I saw someone today
in what
say,
capacity?
"Oh, they've got the same number of hundreds and 50s from the same number of games. Warner has a higher average, I think. And Warner's just missed out on a ton here. I mean, he's a great David Warner. It feels weird to say. Maybe it's our age. It feels like his career's just starting. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah.
But what I thought when I saw Warner today was a guy that is 35 years old who is in a phase of his career where he knows how to eke out runs, even if he's not feeling good or looking good. Yeah. And like even with the way Wood was bowling rapid for long periods
that's
today.
As quick as I've seen here in a long time.
We haven't seen 150s here for a long time.
From anyone.
It was good, and they were hopping. Marnus and Warner especially. He still sort of experienced his way to getting out of those spells.
And actually kind of has done that since he come back from Sandpaper.
Since he's come back.
It's like talking about Mark Wood now. Yes. Ever since the 2019 World Cup was his first series that he came back. I remember he scored 300 in that series and was just about player of the tournament. Equal leading run score, I think, with Rohit Sharma. But kind of like, it wasn't as fluent as we'd seen previously. Yeah. And then he, like T20 World Cup player of the tournament, but not like what we remember from like when he first came in the MCG against Stain and Wacky and like, what's this shit? But he's still good. He's still such a fucking excellent player that he can still get these runs.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, next thing.
Next thing, he goes, do you want to say anything more about Marnus? Marnus, as you were saying before, that was a proper test innings. And on radio, I heard them saying like he threw away a big ton today.
A big
70. That was everything about that innings looked organised and packaged. I think Ed Cowan did a really good tweet about it around technique, game sense, etc.
In terms of a number 3 in Australia on a seaming deck, that we don't really get many of these anymore. Especially like this has been a particularly seaming deck that I've not seen the carry and the pace and the deviation laterally in it feels like a little while.
Yeah, it's because we play in football grounds, mate.
Well, that's right. But in terms of a number 3 innings, the discipline, the guy averages 99 at the Gabba. I mean, that sets up the entire innings. And Head's game does win the game for Australia, but that doesn't happen unless Marnus does what he does. So, like, it's a mate. Marnus, there was an article in Cricket Australia website during the week next to the Bangladesh team song. It's Cricket Show website, mate. About how he was like the number 3 that wasn't meant to be, and he really has just kind of like developed into like this world-class cricketer that no one really saw coming. He averaged 24 in Shield cricket, then went to Glamorgan and scored fucking shitloads of runs, comes in as a sub in the Ashes after Smith gets hit in the head, and then rest is history. He's this fucking amazing player.
He's a future big boy. I mean, he's nearly there now.
He's nearly there now.
He's not there yet. He hasn't got the sort of... He hasn't amassed the quantity of wealth, and by, the currency of that is runs.
I'm trying to think of other number 3s in the world. In terms of his average, he's ahead of Pujara. Pujara's got the hundreds in the bank though.
Yeah, you got to sort of develop a few wrinkles and a few scars and wounds and war stories. To get yourself into the big boys.
That's
a little
true.
Bit as well,
that's true. That's true. You got to make a few mistakes.
Yeah.
Got to come back from those. Yeah.
Yeah, and you might say, "Oh, Baba's not been around long enough to have war stories." Like he's in Pakistan. There's war.
It's on the fucking front line.
Yeah, a little war gag in South Yarra there. Anyway, wonderful innings from Marnus. Want to talk about England? He goes. So the second thing, bowling. I just want to say, like Gattuso, sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. Again, I don't mean to...
wow, okay, mate. No. Wow, that's unbelievable.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit. So what I mean is...
In a couple of Italian restaurants, have you?
Robinson and Wood were as good as Stokes with caveats, and Leach were shit. And I thought Wokes was middling. He came back a little bit towards the end of the day, but he was steady without being overly effective.
I thought, you're right. At times, England bowled well. I think as a whole, in like the innings, apart from the last session at the end there, they just didn't bowl badly. I think like that wicket had so much in it. There's a little bit of luck, a little bit of poor execution. They did get to Australia for 5 for 195, so they're in a position where it's like roll these coats for 250, but they haven't, and now the game is over in essentially 5 sessions into the test match. But I think like Wood and Robinson, who are by far the best bowlers, they make so much more sense if Archer plays and there's another spearhead. Maybe we haven't seen as much of Ollie Stone, but he's another guy who, is an up-and-comer and bowls fucking wheels. But, like, these guys make much more sense if Broad or Anderson plays, and then you've got a guy to bowl around with. Like for instance, Anderson. I know Anderson's record isn't fucking amazing at the Gabba. I don't think he's played many pitches like this one in Brisbane. But Anderson even if he bowls 15, 20 overs today, I bet he takes fucking 1 for 30 or 2 for 25, you know, like, and then the other guys can bowl around that, you know, when they're trying to carry all the load of the other responsibilities, of pick up the slack from the other shit that was churned out. Too much work for two guys who, well, Ollie Robinson's playing like his 6th test, isn't he? 7th test. So he's still finding his fan. He's going to be a great bowler, but.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just get the vibe. Like, there's going to be a lot of recriminations over selection now that Australia has kicked on here. I mean, look, Ricky Ponting said, well, and you know, a lot of these guys at the really top level who played there, they speak with such clarity, and he's like, well, look at this wicket, and you've left Broad and Anderson on the bench, and there's 1,100 test wickets. I mean, this was their wicket. This is their pitch to exploit.
Yeah.
You will never know if they were able to exploit those wickets and actually get into the Australian lineup. Fair enough, right?
Yeah, right.
Who's to say that those guys had played and you wouldn't be sitting there going like, you know, what would have been effective on this, or what sort of, you know, like, which I keep talking about the slice and dice.
Wow,
theory.
no Leach. Yeah. Okay, seriously.
You didn't go in with a spinner, did you? You could have tied it up. You actually the guys could have rested.
He's a good bowler, like, you know.
Like, whichever way you slice and dice it. Well, we're
yeah.
just talking about two teams where there is a golfing class. When it comes, it's a golfing class and a golfing, I guess, familiarity with conditions.
And the Gulf War.
There's a golf war in class. So, yeah.
Australia's just a slightly better team, and they're at home.
Better team, better players.
That's the difference. I mean...
Wood and Robinson did their absolute best to keep England in it. I'm going to go to the third thing now. He goes...
Well, can I just jump in? I want to kind of talk about Leach. Like, I'm not sure how much was spoken about on all commentaries, but like the way Australia attacked Leach, when we've been calling this for like a year, like this has been the big series, and obviously Australia's been played in 11 months, but...
Because we've had nothing else to call.
I don't think Leach bowled that many like just heinous deliveries. In fact, he probably bowled less than 3 really bad balls, one of which probably got a wicket. That was a heinous ball. But you know what I'm saying? I think like his weakness was that if we've known that Australia are just going to try and bomb him out of not just the attack, the series, and like that's his last game. Like they can't carry him anymore. He's gone at 10s in a game where the rest of the run rate's about between 1.5 and 2.5. His weakness was that his skills in defensive bowling wasn't good enough. Because if we've known that they're going to try and bomb him,
nor were the fields, by the way. But anyway, yeah.
Well, exactly. So I mean, I'm not really sure what they were expecting. I mean, the execution. Some of those shots that Warner played early were fairly easy lofted drives down the ground. Marnus attacked him as well, but that's his weakness, that he hasn't been able to bowl defensively enough, knowing that was the key moment in the match, because the other bowlers all fall over because he's only bowled 9 overs in the day. Joe Root bowls the 60th over of the series. Now Joe Root is a better bowler than say Marnus. But he is a part-timer, and he's bowling the 60th over of the series. It's just not good enough, and that's because of, I think, the selections before the game, and also not being able to protect Leach enough.
Well, Marnus seam up. Actually, I'll just take issue that actually seam up got green the same way. He actually heralded the way green got down.
That's true. So, that's true. Someone tweeted saying that Green has been looking at our old logo too much. It's very similar to that.
Not out. So, anyway,
not anymore.
Yeah. No, look, I don't know what else there is to say about Jack Leach. It's what the Aussies try and do, and not only did his non-participation hurt the bowlers, but Stokes as well. I mean, Chris Rogers said that on radio. He's like, look, Stokes got injured. We haven't discussed the no ball thing. People were having absolute conniptions about the no ball stuff today. I don't know. About that, but he bowled 14 no balls. So the technology broke down. Technology broke down at the start of the game.
But how?
And they didn't tell anybody. And they just thought what we'll do is we'll just call it as we say, or we'll use the tech for wickets. And
feels like that's information Ben could have used before it happened.
And also, like if he's able to bowl 14, like he looked like he was bowling fucking well.
Australia
when he came
could be up
on
by 210.
But he was rushing Warner and stuff like that. Well, he's bowling massive noes. Is why
he must have known, because when he bowled Warner, he didn't celebrate.
No, yeah,
he knew. He fucking knew. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, well, I'm glad we've covered that.
Only 3 people knew.
Exactly, only 3 people knew. Should be some merch on that. But that killed them as well with Stokes. And so on to the third thing. Yeah. Head takes it away.
Heady.
And look, this is just a story of a guy. This is a great innings because he does it after tea when you're meant to cash in.
He was facing some third grade shit as well.
Australia loses 4 for 29 either side of tea.
Yeah.
And he plays a counter-attack innings. He goes at the ball, he gets the rewards, and he does so in full knowledge that because Leach has failed, Stokes hasn't been able to hold up the attack, England have run out of carrots. So
they were out of carrots.
This was a carrots-based 100.
That was a carrotless innings at the end.
It was a carrot exploiting 100.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah. He farmed the carrots.
Exactly. He saw that final furlong and he saw that England had no carrots left.
Oh my God!
Robinson trying to whip himself to the end.
Oh, Robinson was stinging for a carrot.
Exactly.
He was stinging for a carrot.
There was none, mate. There's a drought.
Tell you what, mate, I'd smash a carrot.
Didn't you think that? Didn't you think that England looked like, even with Wood and Robinson, Wood's not meant to be able to back up. Let's talk about Adelaide now because this game's over.
Yeah.
But it was a team prepared for a half marathon running a full one. There was actually periods where they bowled quite well and they looked like they were right in the match with Australia, but it was an extended day because of the rain yesterday. They just couldn't go with them. And Travis Head, that was a perfectly set up innings for him. To play that counter attack, middle order innings.
Yep.
It was a good partnership with Carey before Carey got out 40 or 50, and Cummins was able to hold up an end while Head went about his business. He has a century. He nearly does it in a session of 2 hours.
He does it in the session.
He does it in an extended session.
Yeah, okay.
But
Caveat.
And couldn't be happier for it.
I think
Nutrigrain raw.
When he was on 40, he was playing a couple of loose shots where he was just throwing the hands at it, and he didn't get away with it because he executed them perfectly. For the most part.
It's one square drive off Mark Wood. Fucking
Jesus
smashed
Christ.
it.
Yeah.
The on drive to bring up his 100.
The guys on Fox are talking about how it reminded them of Phil Hughes, and I agree.
Yeah,
Similar to it.
Real slash.
Yeah, slapping it.
Slasher.
Yeah. But he needed to score 100 then because it was he didn't need to do shit, right? He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But he needed it in the sense that if he didn't get 100 there, he would have been kicking himself. Not to discredit the skill of the innings, he was facing a lot of Root and Leach and some tired shit. And he played some fucking awesome shots. And I'm not saying it was a bad 100. It's not what I'm saying.
No,
he needed it because the charge against Head is that he's got heaps of starts in his 20-odd Test match career, and he averages 40, and that's his third 100. And he's had opportunities to get more than that already. So it's that's what
I think he played. I mean, it's happening, and Chappell's doing it. We're doing it. It's here's what brings it back from being a great 100. He plays that innings as perfectly as that innings could have been played. That's true. The guy said it was literally as a batting unit, having had a little bit of a wobble, to have the courage and skill to exploit tired bowlers like that with a new ball with your career on the line. Is a total testament to him.
But I was on the couch and I thought it was pretty easy.
Yeah, it's Arch wasn't there, and
I had Dorito crumbs on my chest.
Exactly, the old Dorito crumbs analysis.
And tissues everywhere. Watching that slash.
Oh, you get tissues out there. So, we said,
and also I can't say the word because that'll demonetize the video. And if we don't monetize the video, what's the point of doing this? But he played Miss against Stokes, and he yelled into the stump mic, "Fucking coat!"
Yeah.
Called himself a coat, except not that word. And then he got a beamer from Wood, and that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Hashtag AskTGC. He goes, thanks to Acco. It's Rahul Nathaki writing in. AskTGC, boys, has Rory Burns just bought Mitchell Starc another 25 tests?
God.
This is from yesterday. Will Jai Richardson rage quit Test cricket a la Pattinson after a couple of years of being fourth cab off the rank? Also, what and why is a Nisa?
Yeah. Nisa is, this is going to be a swimming reference. He might be a bit of Daniel Kowalski to the rest of the attacks, Kieran Perkins, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's been such a wonderful next cab for ages, but now Richardson's probably jumped him because he's quicker and younger. Though Nisa's got salad, so you got to factor that in. But then Richardson has that as well. Now Richardson, I think, is an up and coming bowler, and he'll play many Test matches, I believe. Well, he'll get a handful of games.
He'll play this summer.
I think so. But geez, there's just one bloke who doesn't rate Starc, and he's getting a lot of airtime. Yeah. And I'm not seeing many other people. In fact, I'm not seeing actually anyone be like, "Well, Starc's got to go." I think a lot of.
Well, you know what? The valid critique of Starc put away by most rational people because one guy's actually hogging the airspace.
He's gone so fucking ham on it.
There is a conversation about Stark. Like there should be.
There is,
I mean,
there is.
like,
but they're all the players.
Exactly. Any bowling, like any set of quicks, like strikers at a Premier League club, you've got to have 4. You know, you've got to have people ready to go because they break down, you know. And look what happened last year. They get tired. There's 5 tests in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Any big bloke having to bowl 20 overs a couple of times.
When they haven't played tests in a year.
Mate, the body is going to struggle, you know. You got to use a couple of them.
So has Rory Burns bought Mitchell Stark another 25 tests?
No, he hasn't. I mean...
No. But I like the binary nature of like, well, he was about to go and then he's like, now there's your redemption card.
Rory Burns dropped a sitter today to go with, his ignominy yesterday.
You know who would have been fielding there? Jimmy Anderson. I think it went to third slip, didn't it? That's where Jimmy Anderson fields.
I thought it was 2. Milan was 3.
Ah, that you're right. Jimmy does go 2, and then Milan was 3. You're right. Well, at any point, the series is over. Is the game end tomorrow?
I think the game's over. I don't know if it ends tomorrow, but it's over.
This wicket's still got heaps in it. I think.
Right.
I think.
I think this is over. We move to Adelaide. We learned that England discards Leach. They don't bring in Bess, who took forfeit today for the England Lions.
Oh, that's another thing with the Lions that they didn't play Mason Crane or Parkinson.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Two spinners,
a lot of people in England seemed very perturbed by that.
So Best played for the Lions.
Best played and took 4. So
okay,
I think they'll go with quicks.
Best ain't playing this series.
Yeah, and
he can't land him.
And I think but they always give some go to go in Sydney. So
that's right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Give him a go.
And it's going to be 4 quicks. Anderson and Broad will be back in, and then who can pull up out of Robinson?
Who has the most carrots?
And exactly, start eating some carrots, boys.
Hey, in any event, we'll be back tomorrow. If you're new here, if you're enjoying our stuff, hit subscribe or do whatever you want. I don't care.
So do it. I know they say do it.
Yeah.
So does that help? Just click it.
See you tomorrow.